On the 4th of July, 2023, the New York Mets went to Arizona for a 3-game set to celebrate the nation's birthday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Coming into the series, these two teams were not meeting the expectations that analysts had set for them coming into the season, but for completely different reasons. The Arizona Diamondbacks came into the season fresh off the heels of a 74-88 season. The Diamondbacks often felt like the little brothers of the National League West, as teams like the Dodgers and Giants won the division almost every year in the 2010s, and the Padres were fresh off of making the National League Championship Series.
One strike away. Hader to Freeman. He struck out!
Coming into this series against the Mets, the Diamondbacks found themselves with a 50-36 record, holding a 3-game lead on the National League West, which was a surprising turnaround for a team with rather low expectations coming into the year. The Mets found themselves quite in the opposite situation, as a squad who had won 101 games in 2022 and seemingly improved with the signings of Justin Verlander and Kodai Senga during the offseason. Coming into this series, the Mets were 39-46, which was 18 games behind the Braves. The Mets came into this series asking themselves, Are we going to be sellers at the deadline? Or is it time for our turnaround and we're pushing for a wild card series after this? On the 4th of July, the D-backs and the Mets played a game with plenty of fireworks on the nation's birthday, with both teams hitting 3 home runs apiece.
From today. Corbin sends this out to Pham. It's carrying over his head. Marte. And he drives one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Carroll near the wall. It's out of here.
And now Walker at the plate.
Christian hammers it to center field. Christian Walker with some 4th of July fireworks.
Against Max Scherzer, both home run.
Gurriel trying to get in on the act. Left field, way back, and we're tied.
Nimmo.
And Nimmo drives one deep right field. Back goes McCarthy, got turned around, and it's out of here.
The most important of these home runs came in the 7th inning after a 1-out walk was surrendered to Daniel Vogelbach. Francisco Alvarez came to the plate in a 4-4 tied game and hit a 2-run homer off Miguel Castro to take the lead. After a couple of more Mets runs and a D-backs rally that fell short in the 9th, the Mets were able to walk away from this game with an 8-5 win over the D-backs to open the series, and Francisco Alvarez's 2-run homer being enough to take the team down. On July 5th, the previously mentioned Kodai Senga stepped onto the mound to face off against Tommy Henry for a Wednesday night matchup. There was little to report back on the first 6 innings in terms of offense, as Senga racked up 10 strikeouts through 6, and Tommy Henry was able to dance his way around a scoreless outing. As the D-backs came up in the bottom of the 7th in a tied 0-0 game, Christian Walker stepped up to the plate to lead off the inning and was able to secure himself a solo home run off Senga. Senga's final stat line would end up being 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts, and he was staring down the barrel of an 8-inning complete game loss to the Diamondbacks. As the top of the 9th inning started, the D-backs sent out closer Andrew Chafin to secure the last 3 outs of the game. Chafin made quick work of the first 2 batters of the inning and found himself staring down Francisco Alvarez with 2 outs.
Bring up yesterday's hero, Francisco Alvarez, looking for some more heroics with 2 out and nobody on in the 9th.
Alvarez stepped up to the plate looking to be the hero for a second night in a row. After a borderline call from the umpire on a strike at the bottom of the zone, Alvarez found himself frustrated and quickly in a 2-2 count. Alvarez would step out of the box, calling time dramatically and ensuring to turn around and argue with the umpire before stepping back into the box for his 2-2 pitch. After taking an off-speed pitch below the zone, Alvarez would step back up for his 3-2 pitch. This is the moment that every kid dreams of. Up in the top of the 9th inning, 2 outs, full count. Your run is the only one that matters as you step back up into the plate. Alvarez would swing right through a slider at the top of the zone, narrowly making contact and tipping the ball right back at Carson Kelly. If Kelly catches this ball, the game is over. Alvarez strikes out and the D-backs walk away with a 1-0 win. However, this is not what happens. The ball tips right off the top of Carson Kelly's knee pad, rolls away, and Alvarez somehow finds himself back up to the plate with a full count and a second life.
And he flies one deep right field. McCarthy back near the wall. It's out of here! Francisco Alvarez ties the game! 2 out, 2 strikes, home run in the top of the 9th.
Before this home run, you could only feel for Kodai Senga, who had went out there and pitched his heart out, did everything a team could ask for, and was still set up to lose. Now, the Mets had made this an all-new ball game. Within 5 pitches, the D-backs went from holding a 1-0 lead with 2 strikes on the final batter of the game to finding themselves losing in a 2-1 game after Brett Beatty had hit a single between first and second base, and Mark Canha had come up and hit a triple to score him. With all hope deflated from the D-backs side, they came back up in the bottom of the 9th and were not able to string a rally together. The D-backs would find themselves losing the game 2-1 after having 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning with a 1-0 lead. As fans walked back to their car that night, all they could think to themselves was, if we miss the playoffs by 1 game, it'll be this one that hurts the most. The Mets found a way to turn this game around and take this game from the jaws of defeat.
With 2 out and nobody on.
He struck him out and the ball game is over. And the Mets have one of their best victories of the year.